When you're starting out in four-wheel driving and you have all this recovery gear at your fingertips, you might wonder, what do I actually use first? What is the hierarchy for a 4x4 recovery? Well, firstly, I'd recommend jumping out of your vehicle and inspecting things. You might have just hit a log in a mud hole. You might find that you have completely run out of ground clearance. Who knows? But it's a great idea to get out there and inspect things. Next up, just check the basics. Do you have your differential locks activated? Are you in low range? Have you lowered your tire pressures to some nice low pressures to get you out of that bog hole? Because hey, there's only two things that stop a four-wheel drive off-road. It's traction and ground clearance. Now, the first thing that I'd recommend doing once you've done all that is to then just try and drive your vehicle out. Often that involves just rocking the vehicle backwards and forwards. And if you do that really gently, you might find that with those lower tire pressures and with that differential lock activated, you might actually be able to just drive yourself out of the bog. If that doesn't work, then I would recommend pulling out a snatch strap. Now that does involve having another vehicle on hand because hey, you can't pull yourself out by yourself. So that is the next thing I would do. And make sure you have shackles that are rated and recovery points that are rated for recovery. Make sure that you're not just pulling from shipping tie down points because they can become a lethal projectile. And definitely, most definitely never pull off a tow ball because they can break and become a lethal projectile too. Now, sometimes you won't have another vehicle with you, so you might need to self-recover. And for that, a set of recovery boards would come in very handy. They come in various different colors and flavors, but I always prefer to get some better quality ones because they will be more robust and they'll last you for years. And even if your tires do spin, on top of them, which it's good not to do, they won't degrade. Now the good ones also have a nice scoop at the front of them so you can use them as a shovel to help dig underneath the vehicle, and that will always make your recovery a lot more successful. Now, if you have no luck with the snatch strap or the recovery boards, that's when it's time to bring out the big guns. And I would recommend an electric winch. Now, when you pull out the winch, that's when everything really should slow down. You need to be meticulous in your planning, but the nice thing about it is a winch recovery is usually a slow and a really quite safe recovery to use. But keep in mind, most vehicles will only have the winch off the front of the vehicle. So if you drive deep into a valley and need to escape back up the track that you came, a front-facing winch isn't really going to do you much good. So that's when something like a hand winch could come in handy because you do have the ability to pull your vehicle sideways, backwards, forwards, any way you like. Now, when you are using any sort of winch, if you actually connect around a loop called a snatch block back to your vehicle, that will basically double the capacity of your winch. So it's a really handy thing to know. But before you use any of these techniques, I'd really recommend that you go and do a four-wheel drive driver training course so that you're using all of these techniques nice and safely.